showing up. Honestly, yeah, just I'm gonna knock him out. He has a lot of flaws in his defense, and I'm gonna expose him.
How is training for something like this? Obviously, smaller guy. How is this in the training aspect, Jake?
Yeah, there's a lot of punching down, practicing hitting below my knees, and a lot of speed.
He warming up.
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up. Warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds. I got the
If I find
8-year-olds
out
in there.
anything- If I find out anything, I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna beat Jaden on love. On my mama, I'm gonna beat both of y'all ass. On my mama. And he laughing.
Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis recently had a verbal clash that, for many, was more captivating than some of the year's actual boxing matches.
I have beef. I'm not a traditional boxer. If someone has beef with me and they've shit about me and they've said things online and criticized my career, let's run it, bro. I'm old school. Like I'm not a traditional boxer. I just want to fight people them up. So at the end of the day, if he's gonna talk shit about my career, I don't care about weight, spectacle, WWE, whatever anyone wants to say.
The tension was undeniable. This wasn't just talk. It was ego versus legacy on full display. Jake Paul struck first with cutting remarks, calling Gervonta Davis boring and mocking his legal issues, clearly aiming for a psychological edge before they even step into the ring.
Anybody that ever rocked a mohawk is a fucking clown. We all know this. Anybody rocked a mohawk, name
You
it.
want to see clowns? You want to see clowns? Gervonta, you're the fucking clown, buddy. You're the fucking clown, Gervonta. Any man who puts his hands on a woman is the clown. I got you a poodle.
Now,
The wildest part was that Gervonta Davis didn't even flinch. His calm smirk said it all, as if he were thinking, "I've faced tougher guys in Baltimore parking lots." Meanwhile, Jake Paul's energy kept flipping. One moment he was cracking jokes, the next he was dead serious, promising to expose every flaw in Tank's defense like a man obsessed with studying his opponent.
I'm in now is way better than what I was before, and that's the only thing that mattered to me.
He's
You
going
should not-
to
you shouldn't
underestimate
tell nobody-
me. Bro, you took a knee in the last fight.
You
You
shouldn't-
should have got 2 points taken off,
He's
bro.
not even listening.
You're always in your head. Like, at the end of the day, he thinks that the speed is going to make a difference. It's not. He has a lot of holes in his defense. No one has ever pressed him.
You
like I'm
shouldn't
gonna
put a
press him.
fighter on.
And you're going to see me knock this guy.
Here's what most people don't realize. Tank's calm isn't weakness, it's maturity. He's no longer the reckless kid from years ago. He's composed, analytical, and letting Jake talk himself into chaos he won't be able to control. You can tell Tank is approaching this fight like a calculated experiment. Measure, wait, strike. Jake might have the YouTube fame and the size advantage, but Tank's timing remains his ultimate weapon, and it never misses.
In his chest. He was in his chest, and that's why Tank was like backing off. When I seen that, I said, okay, it glimpsed the Tank still in there. You get what I'm saying? So when I seen him, cross that threat, I said, hey, back up off of me, because last fight he was too friendly with Roach.
The fight will be contested over 10 3-minute rounds, and when Tank and Jake enter the squared circle to go.
This isn't just influencer versus boxer, it's discipline versus delusion. If Jake Paul truly thinks he can overpower Gervonta Davis with smaller gloves, he'd better start praying now. Moments after their fiery exchange lit up the internet, boxing legends Andre Ward and Roy Jones Jr. jumped in like wise uncles at a family cookout, ready to school a youngster who's been talking a bit too bold for his own good.
Jake Paul is not a world-class fighter. I don't care how a person feel about that. Fighters that started in their formative years, like we did, 8, 9, 10, we got too much time in. Jake will never catch up to that. He'll never catch up to that.
Ward said what many fans have been thinking but haven't dared to say out loud. Jake Paul might have enough talent to make the fight entertaining, but he's nowhere near Gervonta Davis's level. Ward emphasized that Jake simply can't close that gap, and he's absolutely right. You can't condense a lifetime of grinding against the toughest fighters in the gym into a few weekly sparring sessions and some flashy cars.
Tip the hat to him because he is in the gym with a real boxing team. I know the BJ Flores, J. Leon Love, and a few others he got in there, and he's got real fighters in there. He's getting the black eyes, he's getting the marks, he's trying to become better, and he's respectable enough where if you foolish, you can get knocked out.
Ward did give Jake some well-earned credit. He's putting in the work, taking real punches, earning bruises, and not hiding behind camera edits. His right hand is no joke. If Tank makes a mistake, Baltimore might just owe YouTube HQ an apology. But then came the reality check. Ward reminded everyone that Tank has spent his entire life facing big, strong opponents. So all the talk about weight classes means nothing. The truth is simple. You can't intimidate a man who's been sparring light heavyweights since his teenage years.
Guys and sparring bigger guys his whole life. That's what people don't understand. They keep talking about weight classes are there for a reason. That's true. But some guys, and I said this about Crawford, some guys been beating up on big dudes for a long time. They've been sparring light heavies and heavies for a long time. This ain't nothing new. Now it's different, right? In a real.
Still, Ward slipped in a subtle jab at Tank's mindset, admitting he hasn't heard Davis talk about legacy in a long time. And honestly, he's right. Lately, Tank seems more focused on hype than history. But maybe this showdown with Jake Paul is exactly what he needs. Not for belts, but for pride. Because if Jake somehow manages to keep it close, the internet will explode faster than Roy Jones Jr.'s reflexes the first time TikTok went viral.
Man, not pretty boy, but the money man, and building your brand and selling tickets and selling pay-per-views and becoming a household name, that's also a legacy. You got the legacy in the ring and you got the legacy in terms of how you sold. I believe Gervonta Davis is more focused on selling tickets and making money and securing his future for himself and his family.
This fight isn't just about bragging rights anymore. It's boxing's reputation on the line. And honestly, I'm watching like my Wi-Fi depends on it. Here's the reality. This matchup is equal parts strategy and chaos. If Jake Paul uses his size, stays mobile, keeps his jab sharp, and punishes Tank on the way in, he could drag the fight out long enough to make his advantages matter. But if you're betting on pure boxing skill, the smart money's on Gervonta Davis. His timing, precision, and knockout power can erase any size gap the moment he finds his range and makes Jake pay for even the smallest mistake.
Nah, that's theirs. Let them have that.
What do you think about it? You think Gervonta has a better chance of knocking Jake out than Jake has a chance of knocking Gervonta out?
Well, I'll tell you this, man. From the height difference, Gervonta gonna have to hit him on the low blows and the belly button, bro. Cause that's all he gonna reach. But I get it, man. You got kids, you got a wife, or baby mom, whatever it is. But you know, you gotta make your money, yo. You gonna make your money. You gonna call it quits, and you know, I don't blame you on that part. You know, and Jake Paul, you know, do what you gotta do. Don't get knocked.
I love that this fight isn't predictable. It's pure chaos wrapped in excitement. This is a real coin flip with huge potential for drama. My advice, bring popcorn, not blind faith. Expect a calculated start, a wild middle, and an ending that could swing either way. I give a slight edge to Gervonta Davis for his superior ring IQ and precision, but Jake Paul's power and size make him a legitimate spoiler, keeping everyone glued to their screens. As Andre Ward and Roy Jones Jr. said, respect the craft, respect the legacy. But once Chris Algieri chimed in, things shifted from boxing analysis to tabloid territory. I agree with Ward. This whole event feels more like stage theater, and Paulie Malignaggi is doubling down. When it's all said and done, this isn't legacy versus legacy. It's a massive payday disguised as a grudge match.